G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at Fanstoys Warthog, aka their Powerglide. Now, I will admit straight from the bat, this guy is fiddly. His legs are atrocious. And I swear, after getting Jazz, I had high hopes until I saw the video that Fanstoys released of how the transformation works, and I believe I even left a comment there saying those legs are just atrocious. And I still believe that 100% they could have done a whole lot better job with the legs. I know why it's done the way it's done, but I think it could have been vastly improved. So obviously, for starters, Autobot insignia not included. You might see a little glare, probably not just around here. I put some nail polish on there to sort of keep it more at ease. And yeah, you can't, I hope you don't think you really see it on the camera, but it is there. So if you see something that just doesn't look quite right, then that's probably it. I also have myself a pair of tweezers that I've been using. I would use my part separator, but trust me, for what I'm going to use this for, this is a lot more useful. All right, so we have accessories. He does have his gun. He comes with 2 flight adapters, which this one is for plane mode, and this one is for robot mode. And unlike, just looking there from the side, looks like a gun. Unlike Make Toys, which I wouldn't use their flight sensors to save my life, you can just use this. You have this piece here, just goes up the back there and plugs in, hopefully, and holds pretty well. I probably have a flight adapter with Cyclonus, but it's in storage. So not going to have much luck there showing that off, because he doesn't come with a flight stand, because Fanstoys did a universal and that's what they stuck with. He has card. He, of course, has, put it on the ground for I don't know what reason, his instruction booklet. And he comes with this, which is, for those of us who are in the know, is a nod to Hoist Goes to Hollywood. And I'm pretty sure I now have every single character that wore this mask. I can't remember if Trax did. I know Sunstreaker did. I know Hoist did. I know Powerglide did. And I have this distinct feeling Sunstreaker did, but I can't remember if Sunstreaker actually has the mask or not. But we can actually show off how this works. Now, a lot of people will use their thumbnail or whatever to push this around. I'm worried I'm going to scratch the paint on his mouthpiece. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here. And there is this piece here. And out of the box, this will be flat. By the way, also, the hips will be the wrong way around. And you will have to shove these up to get them pretty much like this. If you have the tiniest gap, you've got it. But what you're going to do, and this can be a little difficult because the way this is, there's a little sort of nubbin. Just push on the back of that and flip all this down. This will be flat, like I said, and that if you turn around the other way, you have a faux cockpit. But yeah, if you flip that down like I just did, and this is where our tweezers is going to come in handy. We don't want the front bit, we just want the back bit. Because if you press in the back of his face, you can give it enough force to turn it around. Just enough so now you can get your nail in there, get it around this way, and then you have these pieces here, which will just go into the grooves on his face, and voila, there he is wearing his monster mask. So there we go. If you want to display it like that, go nuts. It's up to you. Now, while I've got it in this guy, actually, yeah, I might as well leave it the way it is because I'm going to need it for transformation anyway. But let's do size comparison. Here he is with MP10. And it comes up roughly around the midsection of Prime's abs. And if you go by the top of the wings, roughly around here. And one more size comparison, and for those of you who probably guessed this was going to happen, there he is with Combiner Wars Powerglide. Yes, for those of you who realized that every single time I get a replacement figure, I tend to do a video prior to it. I guess it's not a surprise anymore. It's going to be really awkward if I do Wind Charger and Tailgate, because I think I did those videos, but I actually don't have replacements for them. So there you go. So there is that. All right, so let's sit this guy down. Actually, we got to do articulation first, don't we? So head can do a full, kind of do a full 360, but due to the tabs, actually, let me get that up out of the way. But due to these pieces here, his head does sort of press against them, so you won't get a full 360. Head goes up a little bit, doesn't really go down. Straighten his arms out. Arms can do a full 360. They go out this far. We have an upper bicep rotation. We do have double jointed elbow that gets you that far. You have rotation at the wrist. It is typewriter fingers. One pin here, all solid piece, thumb not moving. Make toys. If you just left it like that, I would be perfectly happy. We have waist rotation. We do not have ab crunch. This is going to get in the way, but we can do front and back and side to side. So we're just going to flip those up, and that doesn't really move. But legs can go up this far. And surprisingly, that holds actually pretty well sometimes, although considering all this, well, the foot's die cast, or got die cast in it. The shin not so much, but mostly the foot. We get that far out, and as you can see, it's dropping there a little bit. Leg goes back that far. We do have hip rotation. We have single jointed knee that gets you that far, although due to the way the knee works, you also, depending on how it's situated, it can go in and out, which is weird, and has its own knee rotation. We have a huge toe bend, if you want to call it that, and we have a little bit of an ankle tilt. So there we go. So now we can get down to the transformation. Now, every other YouTube video, as far as I'm aware, goes from the top to the bottom. That's how the instructions were shown on the Fanstoys video. Yes, that's how you're supposed to transform it. However, after a little experimentation, very frustrating experimentation, I have come to the conclusion doing the legs first. That way, all this that is reasonably solid to transform doesn't get all droopy. So we'll start with the arms, we will go the legs, and then we'll do the upper body. Trust me, it works out a little bit better. So I'm going to take the gun out, and I will point out it does have the tab on the back. You can really see that. Come on. Yeah, man. There we go. There's the tab on the back instead of the side, which honestly I find that's a lot more solid of a connection. All right, so let's start with the arms first. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the arms all the way up. You're going to come under here, and you're going to flip this piece up. It won't go all the way, just enough here. You then want to split to the side. There's a pin here, and that will unlatch that. We're then going to come under here and flip the... Oh, hang on. We need to extend the hand first. Oops. Then you can flip that up. Then you want to flip the hand in all the way and close that up. Make sure that things stay focused. You then want to rotate all this down, especially on this hinge, not the top one, otherwise it won't make it. Rotate that all the way down until you have like this. Then that can flip in. Oh, I do need to get the back of the wings out of the way. So we'll just extend those on both sides while I'm thinking of it. So technically wings, arms, and feet. All right, so that comes down here, and you have a tab. Which way is it? On the front here, it's just on the inside, and there is a port right here. So that's going to go there and plug in the side, and then you can flip this piece up. Same on the other side. So lift the hand up, the arm up, I should say. You're going to flip this piece up. You're going to rotate that out. You're going to try and get this hinge here in a second, but first we're going to untab that and pull it out as far as it'll go. Then try to get that rotated down. Oh, duh. Gotta put the hand in first, Dave. Duh. It's getting late, and I'm doing this later than expected, so I really should have made a coffee before I started this. So down here, rotate forward so the hand's here. Plug those into the wings, flip that back. Right. So that's as far, that's as far as we're going to go with the legs, with the arms. All right, now we're going to do the legs. So first things first, you're going to pull down, because there is a tab in here, and extend the waist. So you get all this. That also brings all this down. We're going to bring the side skirts down as well, just for now. We may need to move them. We'll soon find out. I'm trying to remember. And that will fill in those gaps there. All right, so the scariness begins. So we're going to lift up the side skirts, and we need to get these two pieces down. Just try your best and pull, and hopefully, there we go. That's one side, and it's just this is part of the reason why you're supposed to do the top half, but trust me, it makes it a lot easier. All right, so that's like that, and then we're going to rotate the thighs inwards. So we have screws back here, out of the way. And as you can see, I'm already wibbly and wobbly. This is why I came to the conclusion that doing the wings last makes a lot more sense. All right, so we need to get the knee joint out. And this is one of the worst things, but you want to push it and pull it until it just goes clunk, or feels like it goes clunk. And same on the other side. And that's the big scary bit out of the way. We can get these feet out of the way for the time being. And what we're going to do is we're going to get all this unwrapped. So we have this piece here, which tabs in just here. We have this piece here that just tabs on the side here. You'll just sort of extend all that. And we're going to, if it hasn't done it already, just pull that little piece out there. All right, so we'll do that side and then we'll work on the other one. So what you want to do is you need to get this up here. And then you want, and that will actually fill out the rest of that. Then you want to get the screw to face back this way. So when you press up, it will roll up and sort of sit in proper position. And then what we want to do is we want to roll this piece in for now, and that just sort of sits up there. And we need to get this over here. So this is going to have to tab in here. So you want to go underneath the thruster, and there is a tab, a piece here that can go into here, but to this day I still cannot get that to go where I want it to. So get all that up, bring this back, and just under here, and try to get that tabbed into the side. Come on. It's fiddly. I will not lie. It is fiddly. At least so far, it hasn't been too much of an issue when it comes to clearance issues. Did I get it? Did I? Right, got that side in. All right, so just make sure my thrusters stuff are where they should be. And that hasn't even tabbed in properly. So I'm not too worried. It's where I want it, at least for now. So we're going to undo all this again. Get that under there. Get that untabbed over there. And extend all that. And once again, we want to flip this up here. Straighten that up. Get that screw tilted back. And get all this rotated the right way. Would be helpful. And where are we? No, that screw's moved on me. There we go. So that, get that over this side, and hopefully I have everything where it's supposed to go. There we go. And this comes around here, and for some reason it seems like it's sitting a little too high. There we go. Maybe I had to thrust her up too far forward. So then this is going to come over this side, and this basically came up before anyway, but get that in there and voila. So that's given us a good connection point. Now is where the rest of the connection points can be a little iffy, is trying to get all this plugged in, and it's just a matter of trying to get things out of the way and just trying to tab them in. So my hips, I think, are a bit wonky. Let's have a look. Yep, my hips are wonky. So just give them a sort of a push in. Make sure things are straight the way they're supposed to be. Just sort of intertwine those a little bit. They're not going to be perfect, but it kind of works. Whoops. Kind of doesn't, kind of does, kind of doesn't. It's just a matter of keeping that back end tabbed in together. So that's actually gone a lot better than I thought it was going to. The hips are a little wonky. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get them really how they're supposed to go. They might even be tabbed in, and I don't even notice it. All right, so, excuse me. What we can do is we can bring these two pieces in so that way it streamlines all this. And we will finish with the legs in a minute. The feet, I should say. So I think for the most part, that's actually gone in rather well. My thrusters are mostly straight, so I'm pretty damn happy about that. All right, so now we can do the upper body. Just try and get these feet out of the way so I can save me having to move the camera too much. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to extend, just pop, you'll possibly pop out from under the head anyway, but you need to get the wings untabbed, like so. And you're going to want to lift this piece up. Now, there's two things I want to point out too. There is a potential breakage part in the wing, which is less worried about when it comes to the thrusters. And that has a potential to pop off if you do this wrong. So if you try to, I literally did the first time I transformed it, but beg my pardon. If you, basically I popped this off and it was able to go back on, but yeah, you gotta be careful of that. Fold all this down and we're gonna push the wing back. Like so. And then we can bring this down here. Now, here is a breakage potential issue right here. This here. Now, if you put too much force when trying to plug this in, you have potential to pop that out. Potential to pop it out and potential to break it. That's metal behind plastic. Those screws are metal. And thankfully, when I popped mine off, it literally just came out of the housing. So I just unscrewed it, screwed it back in, and it's solid good. But I cannot say that will be the same for everyone. All right, so we want to make sure all this is rotated back. Now, this is a step that when I first got it, I didn't think of. And honestly, if you don't do this now, it's going to hinder it later. But, well, hinder it doesn't really do much of it anyway. What you're going to do is you're going to pull that down, flip this up, out. And before you plug this into here, there is a wheel under here. So what you want to do is get a tool or something. And I'm sure it'll get loose over time. But just get that wheel out now. At least far enough that after you've plugged it in, you can actually get out. I haven't had any luck getting that out from the other side. So then we just plug that into place. And then you have this tab, which goes into this port, this tab, which goes under here. So just line that up and just bring it around. And then this little tab will go into this little port. And that's a wing all done. Now what we can do here is we can bring all this down. I should be able to. Actually, I might not have that all the way out yet. Do I? It's probably part of what's in the chest is probably holding off what I can actually do. All right, so we'll leave that for the time being. All right, we'll do the other side. So get that popped off first. Lift. We're going to have to unplug this. That's how I popped it off. I had that in there. I tried lifting this and it popped out. So I pop that out. It comes out from the side of the head. Now lift that up. Extend all that. Roll the wing back. Or slide the wing back, I should say, not roll it. Rotate her around. Get all this sort of straightened out on this side. And then we can unplug here. Slide it up. Slide it out. And get that wheel out. Like so. And then we can plug this up into here. Bring all that around once things are lined up. And I got that on the wrong side. There we go. Oh, okay. Now it wants to come out. So I don't know what I was doing wrong there. But what you're going to do is this port is going to go into here. And this will sit underneath here, which I think is a pretty good idea. But if you put too much force when you're trying to keep that lined up, that's where you're going to pop this. You shouldn't put too much force, but it can happen. Sadly, it can happen. So just try and get that lined up. Come on. See, this is where, I'm twisting here. That's how I popped it off last time. So it's just a matter of, come on. There we go. Just enough. And then you want to bring this down so it locks it in place. So now it's not going anywhere. All right, same on the other side. Just bring it down just enough to get in that hole. Give it a shift over, not too hard. Bring that down. And if everything lines up properly, which I don't think I did just then. There we go. Down, down. Okay, why aren't you lining up properly with me? It's like you need like 3 dozen fingers. There we go. That got it. Things are unplugging, but I got it. See, this is the problem. You do all this, that might lock into place, but half the time that would just come floppy while you're trying to do the legs. So that's why I came to the conclusion doing the legs first is a better idea. All right, so we're going to just sort of splay these out a little bit. Just keep that straight, and you're going to pull this up just a bit, and then it'll slide up, and a wheel will come out. That is potentially normal, perfectly normal, I shouldn't say, not potentially normal. Like so. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pull this out. And all this will come with it. And you want to make sure there's enough clearance. So just try and sort of straighten this up to get that out. And pull all this free. And that is iffy on me. I'm thinking one day that's going to break. Now, if you hadn't already, this is where you would pull out the faux cockpit. go in with the tool, spin his head around. And now, of course, we can spin the faux cockpit around because we don't need it anymore. At least not for now. Come on. Spin, damn it. And then slide that in. That's how it'll come. It'll come smooth. So then this can all come up and plug in there. And that should plug into the face. And then straighten that up and it'll sort of sit underneath it. All right, we're almost done. So we're going to lift up the cockpit and spin that around. I've just unplugged this anyway. You're going to come under here and you want to get all this out. Like so. And then that can go back where that was. And then what you're going to do is there's these gaps here and here. Bring that back and line them up. Press them in if need be. And just get all that nice and secure. So give them a squeeze so it fills in those gaps. Make sure that's compressed. Wheels out. These are out. Good. All right, now we can finish the nightmare that is the legs, and the feet are actually easy. They're simple. It's just the legs that are the chaos. Pure and utter chaos, and I think my thrusters are a bit weirdly angled, which could be because of the way the hips are. It should be sitting sort of more up, but chances are I think one thruster is actually further up than the other. I think I got it. Yep, I think I got it. All right, so the feet, like I said, simple. Fiddly, but simple. All right, so bring this down here for the moment and bring that down. I'm going to pull forward to save me having to lift the camera up so I can get out of the way. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to come under here. We're going to flip this out. We're going to flip this out, and that'll extend all here. Now, while we're at it, we're going to pull this wheel out. So this whole thing will come soon. But what you're going to do is you're going to straighten out, so slide forward until you have this gap here. So this can come around, and there's a little tab and slot that will plug those together. You can bring the wheel down. You can then extend this piece, and that's going to sit in here. And then we go to the other side. Other side does not have a wheel. So flip up. Flip out. Flip. Rotate. Where are you? And slide forward. Bring down. Bring up. Slide in. Rotate. Bring it up. And we have the tail almost done. Now what's going to happen here is you want to rotate this, and there's a little rotation joint here too, and it wants to sit behind here. There is also a tab here and a port here. So if you can line that up, if everything else is where it's supposed to be, then you can rotate the back till it straightens up. And do the same on the other side. Find that spot and rotate. And then you can just line that up and tab it all together. Nice and tight like until you have your wings and everything where you want it. And I won't lie, the first time I attempted this, after getting out of the box and whatnot, I realized that this wheel doesn't hit the ground. Now, I'm thinking that's partly because of the way the hips are. Or it's because of the way I've got the wheels. Because I think that now puts it too high. Yeah. So if you want all the wheels out, I would just rotate them forward just a smidgen. And that should, yep, that puts you just about height to where you want it. Also, once again, Autobot stickers not included, and they were an absolute bitch to put in place. So there we go. The wheels are actual wheels. They will roll, but I'm not rolling it. Heaven forbid I'm not rolling it. Well, there you go. Rolled a little bit. And of course, for display purposes, you can slide that forward so that you have your canopy open or your cockpit open if you really want it. So I will admit that while the transformation is very fiddly, especially the legs, he does come out as a good plane mode. I'm not quite sure this type of plane this is, but yeah, it looks good. And the fact that they got it to silhouette so thin, especially where his legs would be, is just incredible. It makes the transformation difficult to make it so slender, but hey, they pulled it off. So congrats to Fanstoys for that. I'll give you that. But yeah, putting this guy and turning this guy back and forwards is not going to happen. He's staying in robot mode after I'm done with this. So let's do size comparisons. There he is with Windblade. As you can see, he's obviously way bigger. Make sure it's focused. And of course, last but not least, because why not? There he is with Combiner Wars Powerglide. And honestly, a lot of the transformation that this guy does is in this transformation. Beg my pardon. The arms practically transform the same way, except this has got a few extra steps and the wings have got a few extra steps, but it still uses the slot system because 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's same slots, just different placing. The legs more or less, and the eyes end up basically where they are, and the head basically extends the same way. So I'm not saying that Fanstoys knocked off the design for Powerglide, but I'm starting to get the feeling that some bots have a transformation that it's been solidified that it's what they go with. I saw a video of Studio Series Commander Class Ultra Magnus, and except for a few extra bells and whistles to allow for a waist articulation, it's practically the same as MP22. So take that for what it's worth. Also, while I have a hard time doing this, I don't even know if I get it, you can apparently tab his gun in because there's ports on the side, but I have a feeling that every time I've tried this, certain things get in the way. So see if I can get it plugged in. There you go. So it only works for one side, but I suppose if you have a similar gun or you have a spare, you can always plug that into the other side. And for the flight stand, you have this port here, which will go into here, and it just sits under there, and voila. Although that, as you just saw then, is incredibly loose. So, yeah, maybe not. Once again, my fears for flight stands is continuing on. Sorry, manufacturers, but your figures are too damn expensive to warrant them crashing. Especially with my Swoop, who is, I think I've mentioned before, is missing a finger. Alright, let's get this guy transformed back into robot mode, to which he will stay, as I've said like 5 dozen times right now. So we will start with the feet, we will go up to the top, and then we'll go backwards basically like we have been. So we're going to split all this apart, like so, get all that out. We want to slide this forward, bring this around, and we're going to put this wheel in first. We're going to flip this one down into the groove. We're going to bring it back. We're going to wrap this around. We're going to put this one in first. So this has a tab that's going to go into this port. And then we have a port that's going to go into this tab that goes in this port. Try that again. Same on the other side, except we don't have a wheel this time. So pull it forward, wrap that around, flip this down, flip and pull back and flip first, tab to port, and port to tab. Alright, so we'll get back up the top. Let's make this a little bit easier. Alright, so we're going to pull just in here, if you can get your finger in there, which I haven't done my nails, so thankfully I haven't. And that's just going to come down. Come on. It's just a matter of trying to get those sides unplug. Tweezers, help me. Just don't scratch the paint. There we go. Alright, so then we can get this undone basically. We'll get it out both sides. And we can just pull this forward a bit. We're going to move the cockpit forward. This is all going to slide in. Now, the funny thing is, it has this tab here, which I'm not quite sure why they have that there. So it is what it is, but all that's going to slide forward as far as it'll go. And this can come back and rotate and sit on the back there. We're going to pull this down gently to try and free all that up. You're going to rotate and pull down. That will sit flat. And then all that's going to go underneath his head. And plug in and take that wheel with it. And then we can, you know what, I'll do that last little bit afterwards, but we'll get to the head at the end. So make sure all this is out, and all this is going to slide in, sort of accordion in, all the way until it's sitting where it's supposed to. I forgot an extra accessory, but I'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to fold these out, and we can plug... No, we won't plug those in because that's how I popped something else off. All right, so we're going to come under here, and we can put those wheels all the way in. We're going to come under here, and we're going to lift one up at a time so we don't have to deal with too many. Thank you, truck. We're going to hold this out. We're going to pull this out. And you're going to come down and port and tab and port. I'm going the right. I'm going real well at the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to shimmy that across. We're going to lift this up, and we want to make sure this sort of sits flat. And I've gone the wrong way. Other way. That's what I wanted. So that way it'll sit like this. And what we want to do before we put all this in place, we're going to put that up there. That's going to come down. Try that again. Onto here, so it'll grip this. So grip there, and then we can plug that in the side of the head. It'll probably pop out again, but at least that'll stay where it's supposed to. Come on, focus, damn you. What the hell is like there's something in the shot that's just refusing to focus on. Give me a second. Gotcha. I literally had to focus on the auto insignia. Alright, so we can then flip this up. So we have these ports here, so it's going to be here and here. As long as that's the right way around, which I don't think I do. Once again, I think I've got it folded wrong. Is that it? Yep, so this is going to come down for a bit of room, and it's easier one side than the other. That plugs in, and we're just going to flatten that, and voila, we have an arm all done, except for, well, we have one side of the torso all done. Let me rephrase that. So we're going to unplug all this. We're going to bring this down. We're going to bring it in. We're going to bring it down. Would be helpful to unplug that first. Try that again. Plug that in there if things are lined up properly. We're then going to shimmy that forward, which I probably grabbed that in a really bad spot. Rotate, and we're going to bring this up, and we're just going to hope that that side is not plugged into the side of the head yet, which I think it might be. There we go. Bring that up, keep that straight, flip that over there, and then bring all that down, and that will all hopefully plug in where it's supposed to. There we go. And we'll just flatten that out like so. All right. We can deal with the fun of the legs, getting them back into robot mode, which can be It's not as difficult getting it into robot mode, although part of the hinges I don't like. So what we're going to do is we're going to split all this. Just get your nail in there and split it all. Might have to come under here and flip some of these out. And we want to get all this undone. And I probably should have done that one at a time, but oh well, shit happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the leg down. Going to bring it down here. And no matter what I've tried, this will not go where I want it to go. So I don't know if it has the specifics where how it's got to sit, but as long as this piece is at the back, which becomes your knee. So press down, and then it's a matter of finding that sweet spot without breaking it and finding places to put your hands. So there we go. So I've managed to get that screw behind there, which is where I usually try to get it, but it doesn't always succeed. And then what we're going to do is, if you haven't already, you're going to unfold this. Beg my pardon. And this is all going to furl around the leg. So just around here, you sort of want to get in front of the foot. And that's going to go in there. And where are you? Am I on the right way? Actually, I think I'm on the right way. So I'm good. Anyway, I don't have to wrap it around. It just sits on the back here. And you have a tab here. Do you mind? That goes into here. I don't know if you saw that, because it's busy finding another one, but it goes in here. So that's going to go up. And just make sure that's somewhat collapsed. Where are you? Why am I having so much trouble? Oh, there's a tab on here that I didn't even realize. A thing. There we go. That gets that in place. That tabs somewhat into that place. And this should come up. Like so. And I've just untabbed all the rest. All right, try that again. Tab you in. Tab you in. Tab you in. And okay, why aren't you going across far enough? It's like I'm not getting enough clearance. It's not clearance, not enough leeway. All right, let's try it from the other way. Let's do that one first. Maybe I haven't got the, I was going to say, maybe I don't have the angle far enough across, but it has no effect on it whatsoever. Come on. Why are you fighting with me? Have I got it? Give me half a second. Okay, so it's not something I'd noticed. I admit I didn't notice it. But depending on where you have the foot depends on how you have this, depends on if you can plug that in. So, yeah. I think I've extended that. There we go. So what you want to do is you actually need this piece to be in line with basically this piece here. So we're going to bring all that down. And I might actually try doing the foot afterwards. But I get that like that. And what we're going to do is we need to figure out where the front of the foot is. And I'm just looking. So we need this. Where is it? This piece here. Get it? This piece here has got to go at the back. So that'll be where here is. So then by knowing that's the back, I can articulate the foot in a way that when I bring this around, it should, providing I'll just bring that down so I got a bit more clearance, but the piece should go into the groove like I said. So let's get that extended out, bring that in, tab that in, if it tabs in, bring this around, plug that in. Now I should have the leeway to plug that in, hopefully. Just squeeze, give it a nice solid squeeze, and then the foot should go up where it's supposed to, and we rotate this. So I'm just looking at how I've got that, because that's going to all go with it anyway. Anywho, so I'm going to bring this up here and try to use my palm to hopefully press all that in. And you want it, I don't think I've actually got it far enough up. I think I've still got some leeway. So I'm just going to rotate the thigh out. That's untapped. Like so. And as you can see, I've still got a whole lot of leg left. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out where you can put your hands. So what's keeping me from there's that. Just looking at your legs to see if yeah, that one leg's still not high enough. 1 second. And after a few seconds of fiddling, it's in place. So then all we want to do is we're going to bring this up. We'll just get the side skirts out of the way. And we can pop that hopefully back up in place. And I feel like I just unplugged that. Come on. There we go. Just use the actual joint itself. I think I just unplugged the wings. There we go. All right. We're fiddly, we're fidgety, but we're getting where we want to get to. All right, so we're going to flip these up underneath the wings. So we have our side skirts again. Like so. And then we're going to bring this down. So this is going to tab into here, and this will all come down with it. So like so. And just make sure that accordion's in the right way. And slide that back and then down. And voila. Hips and legs all done. Fidgety, fiddly, and somewhat untabbingly annoying. There we go. This is definitely not a figure you're going to pull off the shelf just because you feel like transforming it. All right, so we're going to plug that in to make sure that's the right way. Now we can do the head. We're going to come back here. You're going to flip this down. You're going to rotate that the best you can, which, like I said, I should have done it earlier, but I got it. I'm going to grab my tool, and I'm just going to push in the corner. This is basically what we're doing on the other side, just enough so that I can get the face wrapped around. I'm sure that'll come looser with time, but yeah, I'm not playing with it that much. All right, home stretch. We're going to untab the arm. We're going to lift this up here. You're going to rotate all this up. Oh, don't forget to pull that out. I didn't. We're then going to open up the hand, flip this piece out, and bring that down. Flip that back in. to shorten it. You can have it longer if you want, but you're supposed to have it shorter. You can then straighten that up, flip that down, fold down the arm. Same on the other side. Make sure to unflap that first. Untab, rotate up, come in here, flip the hand out, flip the hand out, lock that in place, flip all this in, which I won't lie, that is a somewhat scary place that I'm worried that one day it's going to break. Flip that down, arms all done, transformation's almost complete, accordion these closed or smaller, and there we have Warthog, aka Powerglide, in robot mode. Whoops, got to put the faux cockpit back in place. Tisk. And there we go. So there he is, transformed again. Like I said, after getting Jive and now Powerglide, I am really starting to get concerned of what their Chrome Dome, Scourge, and what was the other one I was waiting to get? Scourge, Chrome Dome. No, I wasn't getting Swerve. I've already got him. So Powerglide, Chrome Dome, and Scourge is going to be like honestly, their beast form, their Decepticon headmasters were fine. They really were. They were fine. And I've still got Dead End to come yet when they finally release that, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, surely they could have designed the legs a bit better. Honestly, I reckon they could have been designed better. I think I've got them the right way around. I'm just looking at going, do I have the legs around the right way? Yeah, I do. Because I'm just looking at these holes. Pretty sure the right way around. Yeah. Anywho, so I am a little concerned of what the other one's going to be like. I know Fanstoys have fiddly transformations, but after doing the headmasters, the Decepticon headmasters, which were nice and sweet, doing Jive and now Warthog, yeah, I'm a little concerned. Simple as that. But I think that's about it. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe or ring that bell or leave me a comment. Are you going to pick up Warthog? Are you happy with Combiner Wars Powerglide? Or are you waiting for some alternative choice? Let me know in the comments. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.